gotta make it out to Vegas, where the lights shine bright. Vegas, in the clear desert night. Vegas, where they can make you a star. Vegas, at the NFR.
NFR Extra is a podcast dedicated to the Wrangler National Finals Rodeo and features icons and personalities that embody the Western lifestyle.
And you can prepare all you want for that event, but until you get in there, until you feel it, until you feel the timing and the pressure, the eyes that are watching you, you would never know that Bob Tallman was a 12-time announcer of the year, because he never let that define him. He did his job every time. Randy Cordo, the same way, did his job every time. Means they still do a great job. And so it's like, I'm humbled to even be on that list.
This is pro rodeo announcer Andy Seiler, and you are listening to NFR Extra. We are here with one of the newest voices at this year's National Finals Rodeo, Anthony Lucia. Anthony, congratulations on your first, I'm sure, many NFRs, and also winning Announcer of the Year again.
Thanks, Andy, and I appreciate you guys having me on, and it was sure exciting to be a part of an event like that, as Andy, as you well know, doing it twice, and it's unbelievable.
So take us through night one. Because the first night, you were actually watching, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Night one, at first I was like, I want every single performance of the National Finals Rodeo. I want to do 10 performances. You might know this. I was so happy that I was not announcing night one. And you can prepare all you want for that event, but until you get in there, until you feel it, until you feel the timing and the pressure, the eyes that are watching you from not only the fans' perspective, but all the different leadership groups that are involved in that rodeo, I was very happy to be watching night one, because I learned, had I not been watching night one, I would have looked even sillier than I probably looked on night two. So.
No, it's difficult because you don't know what you don't know until those lights come on, and they say Viva Las Vegas and everything starts happening. You don't understand what you're truly stepping into until you are literally right there in the middle of it.
Yeah, for sure. And I talked to you and Boyd and Randy and all the guys and Bob and all the guys that had announced it previously, and just to try to get some insight on what it feels like. And again, like you just said it perfectly, you don't know what you don't know. And that first night, just watching it from basically a gold buckle seat, but you're watching it, but you're also thinking forward into, okay, tomorrow I'm going to be doing this. So I made an immense amount of notes. Was whenever they did the sponsorship flags, I was reading along the ones that I was going to be reading along with to see what my timing was going to be like on that. And and you guys know this, Alan Reinheimer sets this all up to succeed. Like genuinely, there's a reason for every single thing that they do. Like there's a reason that the new guy doesn't announce night one. And it's for the simple fact of he wants everybody to succeed that's in there. And if you don't succeed, and thanks to the help of Wayne and Roger and all of you guys that stepped in and didn't have to and gave me insight and tried to prepare me as much as you could, it all works together. But my goodness, it's a feeling like no other.
When did you start to feel comfortable? Like when did you feel like, hey, I can do this?
Round 10. When I was once again watching. I genuinely don't know if you ever feel like you can do this. And I'm my own worst critic, and I'm very, very hard on myself. And so, obviously you can feel good about points of the show. And I even talked to Andy during it, and he was like, well, how do you feel? And I'm like, I don't know. I think I'm doing good. But I went back and I've watched every performance, and there's been a lot of face palm moments for me. going back and watching it, and in the moment, you think you're like, okay, but again, things are moving. It's the silliest thing because it's so fast, and it shouldn't be fast because when you're watching it as a fan, it probably seems like it's slow. But as when you're in the battle and there is so many things happening all around you and so many different working entities that all have to line up perfectly, it's one of those things where when you take a step back, I'm like, okay, I would give myself a B minus on how I did. But again, there was points where I was just like I wanted to rip my shirt open, and which never mind, that was a horrible example. But I do this dumb thing
Yeah,
like
no,
Ryan
Superman.
Moats.
I get it. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Ryan Moats did it when he won all those rounds years ago, and now Stetson and Rocker are doing this, which I'm not near cool enough to do that, but I'll do the Ryan Moats celebration when I feel like something went good. Didn't have a lot of those because again, you don't really, I don't know, when you're in it, you're just trying to survive and make sure that the fans have a good time and that everything that needs to be done is done. And there's just a lot of pressure, and I don't know. It's to this day, it's the coolest thing I've ever done.
But there's got to be some core memories that I think everyone, when they do a marquee event, and it doesn't matter where it's at, there's got to be some exclamation points that you really remember that just stick out to you.
Yes. Night number 2 was my first time announcing. And I don't remember exactly who it was, but Bob Tallman was sitting behind me, and I looked behind him and spelt Montana. I was looking at him when I said it's so and so from the big sky country of Montana, and his face just lit up. And it was just like all my childhood, I'd listened to him spell that and hear the crowd erupt. And to be able to do that and like look at him as an ode to him, but also like getting to feel what he has felt so many times by doing that. That's something I will never forget. And then there's a few, I mean, the moments that are big at that event, I mean, they're every night. I mean, like Stetson, whenever his victory lap horse was acting ornery and he, tipped his hat. Rocker, and I don't know why these like stick out to me, but when his wouldn't go around the arena and he just stopped in the middle of the arena and just did this and like put his hands out, and to hear that crowd and to feel that and just to know that you're a small piece of that, of those moments in pro rodeo history, like it's overwhelming, honestly.
How different is that on an announcer's platform comparative to being in the dirt as a performer?
You're expected to be great for 2.5 hours as an announcer. You're expected to be great for 45 seconds to a minute 15 as a trick roper. So it's one of those things where the adrenaline rush that you get when you step out there to go trick rope, it hits you like the minute you're at that little walk-through gate by the chutes, and it's your time, and then you go stand next to the fence, and then Marty, the production manager dude, leans over and goes, "Go." And you just go and you do it. And I don't think you don't have a chance to like look around and really realize what you're a part of. But as an announcer, because you're alternating guys, there was times that I would just like watch the fans and watch the rodeo whenever Roger or Wayne were announcing an athlete. And it is far different, but I was so happy that I got to trick rope there because it did kind of give me an idea of that adrenaline and what the energy feels like in that building. But the first time I got to do the Viva Las Vegas, intro to the opening video, oh my gosh, like my heart was racing. I have no idea what I sounded like. I know Wayne gave me kind of a weird look, so I'm not sure I sounded great.
He's all, did your voice crack? What was that? You're all, I don't know.
My voice didn't crack, but I think I said Viva Las Vegas as fast as I could possibly say it. And Wayne literally, he goes, "Just breathe." And I'm like, "What? I haven't breathed. Okay. That's a good point. That's a good point. Like I do need to breathe." And so, yeah. And like they asked me if I wanted to do the, welcome to the Wrangler National Finals Rodeo presented by Teton Ridge. They said, "Do you want to do that or pray?" And I was like, well, I know for sure I can pray. I don't know if I can get through all of that without bumbling or stumbling or crying. Um, so like, because that's the moment, like when the Six Flags come in, like that's just such a massive moment in that rodeo. And those guys did it beautifully. And I was grateful that I got to then calm down and pray. And it just kind of being able to pray honestly, like set me up for the rest of the event because it did bring me back to who put me here, why I'm here. And it kind of just leveled me off to where, okay, now go do your job.
I promise we'll get back to the serious part of the interview, but the fun part, do you still have the green jeans from when you trick roped at the NFR?
I do.
Okay.
I do.
All right.
I don't. And with all honesty, I don't think they'd fit because they shrunk.
That was not the question. I just wanted to make sure you still had the jeans.
I do. I have the green jeans and the green hat. They're in my shop, and I look at them, and every once in a while they're on a shelf in there, and somebody the other day at Fort Worth, actually, they were like, "You gonna crack out the green jeans one of the nights?" And I'm like, "Well, I could crack them out, but I'd have to wear them as a belt, not as a pair of pants."
Do it like a tie over your shoulders.
Yeah.
Like a country club tie.
Oh, God.
I mean, over the years they've shrunk. I mean, I know that's what it is.
It was the dry cleaner's fault.
Well, if it's not the
Yes.
dry cleaners, it's definitely the washing machines. Tide Pods have changed the world, okay?
I mean, yes, that's exactly it. It has nothing to do with the announcing game. Doesn't require a lot of physicality, and yeah. Anyways, moving on.
Well, like so many other announcers today, you're like me. You have overkicked your coverage and your support staff.
Yes.
So, how did you land a former Miss Rodeo America and Miss Lisa?
It goes back to God. God has pity on those, I think, and God
Now
had
you're
pity on
sandbagging.
me. No, I'm saying like God had mercy on me, and he knew that I needed a tough, brilliant woman to try to get me to fulfill what he has called me to do genuinely. And the fact that she is an 11 or 15 out of 10, that is, I that is one of life's greatest mysteries for Anthony Lucia, the fact that I was able to marry Lisa.
How did you guys meet?
We met at Rodeo Austin. I was there team roping. It was my birthday weekend. We had went to me and a buddy team and my partner, Wesley Johnson, at the time. We went to a bunch of different rodeos that weekend, and I was competing there. We made a really good run, and we made at that time it was like a kind of like a bracketed system. So we had to lay over and run our next one. I think it was the next day or 2 days after anyways. And it was my birthday weekend. And so me and Wesley were going to see what we drew, and I actually saw her before she saw me, and I said, Wesley, man, that girl is beautiful. And he looked at her and he goes, he's really country. And he said something like, yeah, she's pretty handsome, like something like very redneck and country.
Right.
Anyways. And I was like, anyway, we go check our steer and we rope. Well, then I go on the back of the bucket shoes to watch the concert. It was Turnpike Troubadours. I'll never forget this. And I'm not proud of this, but I have 2 40s because in Rodeo Austin, they only sell 40s when it comes to the beer. So I have 2 40s. I'm watching Turnpike and I'm standing on the back of the chutes and I look to my right and there she is. And I'm like, oh my gosh, here's my moment. And I literally, in the most awkward, dumb way, go, you and I should conversate.
Nice. Okay.
Did her head like turn? Like, huh?
It's a look that I've now grown accustomed to being married to her, because it was a look of, did you really just say that? And did you think that was going to emit like a positive reaction? And anyway, she kind of half smiled and like, oh, all right. And then later that night in the 100X Club, we went over there to listen to some music and hang out with some friends. And I saw her again. I was a little bit more brave at that time, and I was smoother, and we danced and visited, and then didn't think I would see her again. And like 2 days later, I got a Facebook message from her, and she claims that it was her friend that messaged me. But I know it was Lisa because she dug me from the very beginning. It's not a big deal.
Well, I mean, who doesn't dig a guy who's got a six pack between two hands? You know, I mean, just showing up with 80 ounces of
some
cold
girls are
frosted
into
lager. You know,
It was probably like Bush Light or something really
gosh.
classy.
You were smooth like Keith Stone.
Yeah, exactly. It might have been Keystone because at the time I was living at Ryan Mozi's house, and that's what we liked our Keystone. So I don't know. And then we just started talking, and then I found out she lived in Stephenville, and the funniest part of that whole thing is my dad growing up told me to never marry a barrel racer or a rodeo queen. My dad was not great at relationships when it came to wives, and God rest his soul, I love him, and he's the reason that I'm in rodeo, and so I'm forever grateful for that. But he always told me never marry a barrel racer or a rodeo queen. And so when I met Lisa, she was finishing up her master. She was a teacher, and I was like, "This is great." She's a rodeo fan. But she's a teacher. Like she's going to be in my mind, like immediately, like she's going to be off during the summers. She can go with me. This is going to be great. Well, then we get to talking and she's like, yeah, I'm studying, I'm running for Miss Rodeo America or Miss Rodeo Texas. And I'm like, oh, well, okay. Well, that's cool. And so I'm like, no big deal. You know, Miss Rodeo Texas, like Texas is really tough to win as a rodeo queen. And I'm thinking like, you know, she's great and all, but I don't know if she's she's from a dairy farm in East Texas. Like,
Right.
like I don't, whatever. And she runs, doesn't win. So I'm like, okay, cool. Dodge that bullet. Now we're back to regular scheduled programming. And then, so we date, she's teaching school in East Texas, long distance relationship. I'm going over there a bunch and our relationship is growing and growing and growing. And I'm just like getting ready to I'm thinking I'm going to ask her to marry me. And because we had dated almost a year at that point. And she tells me one night, she goes, I'm going to run for Texas again. And I was like, oh, or is that something that you really like? That's a thing still? Like, I thought it was done. Like she had sold her clothes, like her outfits. And I'm like, okay. And I tried, my first reaction was like, you don't need to do that. That's, whatever. And then she goes, God told me. I've been praying on it. There was something inside of me that won't let me let go of it. And God has told me that I need to do it again. So I was like, all right, all hands on deck. Let's do this. And so I helped her study, and we actually grew really close during the time of studying. I helped her. I'm not saying like I helped her win the thing. It sounds like that. I'm not saying that. But we got to spend a lot of time in her preparation and actually learning. I learned so much about rodeo during that time because we're doing the flashcards, we're doing the impromptu speeches and everything like that. And then she dominates, she wins Texas. And the funniest thing is she goes in the meeting when she's signing her contract, her board, they knew that we were dating and they go, is this guy going to be a problem? And I'm like, when Lisa tells me this, I'm like, what? What are they going to do? Whack me? Like, if I was going to be a problem, is the rodeo queen mafia going to take me out of the picture?
Absolutely.
Because you're not allowed to have a boyfriend as a rodeo queen. And right. I mean, I was fine with, not being public about it, like whatever. And anyway, she wins Texas, wins America. And it was the best thing for me because it made me grow up and it made me learn to trust. And it made it now, especially the way it's kind of roles reversed where she was so busy for a year and a half. We didn't get to see each other hardly any, but we never questioned our relationship. And now with me being gone as much as I'm gone, and it's just the way God works is pretty spectacular. And again, it's the greatest mystery in the world of how I landed Lisa, but I'm sure grateful for it.
Let's take a quick pause and we'll be right back. Do you need a dose of social? A dash of insider info? Then the National Finals Rodeo social network is set up just for you. Get updates, insights, unique content, and much more on Facebook, X, Instagram, and TikTok. You can find us at /Las Vegas NFR. And be sure to use hashtag Wrangler NFR on your posts and tweets. There's something for all rodeo fans. The NFR and Las Vegas, where every moment is legendary. As your schedule continues to grow, like how do you manage it all? I mean, because you got a lot of stuff going on.
You know this because you're a busy guy as well when you're gone announcing and when you're home running your business and being a dad and a husband. And it's just one of those things, you just do it. I mean, there's no really thinking about it, and you just plan. And when we get to spend time together, we make it count. And when I'm on the road, we're very connected, and she's busy training horses, and she's now a rodeo queen coach, which that's turned that into a incredible business. And she does clinics, and because she's got a teaching background and she's extremely savvy on how to win, titles.
Mhm.
And you just do it, like plain and simple. You just enjoy the time you get to spend together, and then she'll fly out and go with me to some places. But it's also not fun for rodeo wives to go to rodeos with announcers because we work. Like, everybody thinks we just show up and cruise in and just start talking. But between research, between meetings, rehearsals, sound checks, sponsorship obligations, committee obligations, which are all great things, it's not fun for wives, at least for mine, to go with me.
No, I understand that because it's stressful. Because you're right, everybody thinks that you just go and you have lunch and you're hanging out around town, but really, I mean, for every 2 hours of a performance, there we go. It takes 5 or 6 hours of prep work. So between the contestants and the production part of it, the meetings, it's not that simple.
Yeah, no, there's a lot that goes into it. And when it always makes me laugh when people are like, man, that was a great rodeo. All you had to do is stand up there and talk. And I'm like, that makes me happy in a way because they thought it was a great rodeo. And if they think that we're that good that we can just show up and do a seamless 2.5 hour performance, like, okay, cool. Like, that's the way I take it. I used to take offense to it. And I want to be like, now, wait a second. You know how much work goes into making a great 2.5 hour product?
Yeah.
For not only everybody involved, but everybody watching. Like, it takes a lot of effort from a lot of different people, way beyond my job. So I don't know. It's cool.
No announcer is ever going to say, this is my favorite rodeo. But as your schedule has grown, I would love to hear your perspective on 5 or 6 different venues and what really sticks out to you about those venues.
Yeah. And you're right. We won't just say there's one rodeo that's our favorite. I genuinely, there was a point, and I think you can relate to this, but there's a point in your career where you go to some places that aren't as fun. Whether it's just the weather sometimes can affect your perspective on what's fun or not. Maybe it's just really hard to get a momentum going in the production or different things. But now I can genuinely say that by the grace of God, and I'm so grateful for this, but I love every rodeo that I go to. Now, are there places that jump out to be more like the Fort Worth Stock Show Rodeo, the one that we just finished? That rodeo is going to be special to me because I was born and raised there. My dad worked it a total of 22 times, either as a barrel man or as a specialty act. And the team that they have built is just extremely, it's a fun team to work with. The leadership is great, and they listen to us and they ask our opinions and involve us in things. And it's just, it's so much fun. But then you think like, then a rodeo with a totally different feel, Santa Maria, California, outdoors. It's just, the weather is beautiful, just so much fun. And then like the Pendleton Extreme Bulls finals in Happy Canyon, because there's 6,000 or 8,000 people literally just on top of you, and the arena is super small. The competition is lights out. But I can go through from Fort Worth to Ivins, Utah, the Extreme Bulls, to the Timed Event Championship, and go through each rodeo and tell you multiple things of why it is so enjoyable to be a part of. Because I'm so fortunate. Like even smaller rodeos, like I got little California rodeos that aren't on Cowboy Channel, that aren't, nobody's in a hurry, like Marysville, California.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just fun. Like it's Reno Roster's hometown rodeo, and we're at the Cotton Rosser Arena, and it's just a fun rodeo. Like the competition, like we'll get a couple NFR guys, but the majority is circuit guys. But again, it's just a fun rodeo. And that's what's so great about rodeo is, I mean, you're about to go to Rodeo Houston, which is easily the largest rodeo, biggest rodeo in the world other than the National Finals Rodeo. And then you'll go to a smaller rodeo and you're like, you leave there with the same feeling of, gosh, that was just fun to do and to be a part of. Like when you're in it, sometimes it's hard to see what you're in. But when you're done, you look back and you're like, Jeepers Creepers, that was just so fun.
I have to ask, is there any actual events where they fly by so fast that you've called all this action and you're like, man, I don't even know what just happened at this event? Like, is there ever those moments?
Yeah, I did one in December that was like that. Yeah, then NFR, that's the one. Like when we start a performance, the next thing you know, you're running barrels and you're like, what just happened? Was I blacked out the entire time? Like that is honestly, that's the one that when you buy like you say Viva Las Vegas, and the next thing you know, here comes all the sponsor flags and the lights are dim, and you're telling everybody good night, and it's just like, what in the world just happened? Yeah, that's the one.
That makes sense. I can understand that.
Yeah.
How cool is it to win Announcer of the Year again?
That still comes as a shock to me every time that it happens. And I'll never forget the first time I got nominated. Like I was, if you can imagine this, I was crying in my living room. And just because that's never the goal. And I think for any of us, the goal is to have a great schedule, to give everything you've got at every rodeo you go to, big or small, and to keep getting hired back. Like for us as announcers, to me, that's the win. That's the victory is getting to do this for a living. And then when you get to be a part of something like that and actually get to receive that award, it's just a shock to me because there's a lot of really great guys. And I'm not just saying this, the fact that Andy hasn't won it is shocking to me because he is one of the best announcers in the business. And I'm very grateful for it, but I don't base my identity on that and I don't base my announcer identity on that because it is a great honor that the people of Pro Rodeo think enough of me to vote for me and to write my name down. But at the end of the day, I'm only as good as my next performance. And so a lot of people are like, when you win that award or when you won it for the first time, did it change your announcing? And I was like, no, it really didn't because it doesn't make me great. I'm not great all of a sudden. Like we still have to continually work at our craft and fix things, change things, be better at things, add a bigger vocabulary, find different ways to portray something so that it doesn't become stagnant. So like, I mean, you look at Bob Tallman and Randy Corley, like I said this to somebody, it was me, Garrett Yergin, and Bob were all sitting at a table and somebody was like, oh, Anthony, you won 3 announcers of the year now. And I go, yep, between Garrett and I, we have less than half of how many Bob Tallman has won. Yeah. So if you ever want to be humble, just look at the greats. And you would never know that Bob Tallman was a 12-time announcer of the year because he never let that define him. He did his job every time. Randy Corley, the same way, did his job every time. Means they still do a great job. And so it's like, I'm humbled to even be on that list. Getting nominated is very special. And then getting to win it is just like, I'm just like, I should give this to Bob Tallman. Like I should give this to somebody else because and this isn't false humility either. Like genuinely, it's how I feel. Like it's badass to win it. But in the same hand, it's like, this, I don't know. It still doesn't like sink in yet.
Well, and you think about how long those guys have been doing it. I mean, yeah. I pray that I still have the drive and the ability, after I've been doing it for 50 years to keep doing it, but that's Bob, I mean, Bob can still stop people in their tracks and just tell a story, I mean, and I felt the same way about guys like Liesl Harris, I mean, you just wanted to sit down and listen to them tell you a story or tell you a joke, because they were that talented, and they could do other things. I mean, Bob did a 4-H commercial one time, and I know it's on YouTube, but I mean, I Googled Bob Tallman one time, and this 4-H commercial came up, and I watched a 3-minute video about Bob talking about 4-H. They have that personality that it goes above and beyond rodeo.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, like the other day, whenever they did a little kind of a send off moment for Bob during the stock show, and after it got done, he talked about his family, and I'm just back there just losing it because he got emotional talking about his family, and at the end of all of it, he said, "Thank you, Jesus," which is something that so many of us say, and it's whatever. But the way that he said it, I will never forget in Bob Tallman's voice when he said, "Thank you, Jesus." And it was just like, oh my gosh, this guy is so freaking good. And he's so sincere. Like when he said that, it just, the entire 9,800 people that were there, just like on their feet, just crazy. And I was like, there's no one else alive that could simply say, "Thank you, Jesus," in that way, in that moment, and emit the kind of emotion and response that came from it. It's just incredible. He's just incredible.
He has the voice.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
and he's been an icon of our industry. And honestly, if you talk to any young announcer, I mean, we've all tried to live up to that, and we won't. I mean,
Nope.
because he's
I stopped
he's
trying to do that a long time ago
Yeah.
because it's impossible. It's like, okay, I'm going to be Superman today.
Yeah.
No, you're not.
he's one of one. But I mean, it's the same thing could be said for a John Madden. I mean, instead of somebody calling a football game and they're going across the 40, John Madden's just having a conversation with a marker in his hand, circling things. Hey, look at this right here. And hey, check out that lady in the front row. I mean,
Yeah.
So anyway.
Yeah. No, it's cool. I mean, and I don't know. I think the fact that we get to do the same thing and be in the same business as those guys, like, especially as a fan, like, I mean, none of us would do this if we weren't fans. Like, it's not just like, you know what, I'm going to be a rodeo announcer. No, you have to be a fan of the sport. And being able to, and you get to do it at Houston and multiple other places. I get to do it at a handful of places, getting to sit next to Bob. Last year, I got to co-announce with Randy Corley at some places. And it's like, again, it's one of those moments when you're doing it, and then you step back and you're like, I just got to announce a rodeo with Hall of Famer, 12-time PRCA Announcer of the Year, 25 times to the NFR. And when he wasn't announcing the NFR, he was broadcasting the NFR. It's like, I just got to announce a rodeo with that guy. Like, it's just mind-blowing.
Well, the only thing I'll follow that up with is be careful if you ever ride with him in a golf cart.
He did drive me. So we have talked about this before. And he did drive me from the hotel at Bremerton to the arena, which is probably in total 2 miles. And I rode with him one time.
Yeah,
because
Bob and Randy must have that in common because, like, I love Bob to death, but I will not ride in a golf cart with him. I mean, there are people that take their lives into their own hands jumping on a gas-powered golf cart with those two individuals. So I think that's the perfect way to put a pin in this conversation.
I have to tell you this story about Bob Tallman real quick. Last year at Fort Worth, me, Garrett, our audio guy, Dustin Raines, and Bob are in his SUV, and they reroute us out of the parking garage that we always park in at Dickies Arena, and they send us out the back way. Well, Bob's like, oh, I know how to get us back to our road. Okay. So he cuts through this parking lot, and he takes a left, and he's going 60, mind you, in a place he should not be going 60. We hit a speed bump going 60 miles an hour. And
just wreck your heads.
We're supposed to, I mean, it's maybe a half a mile to where we needed to go. So we don't have seatbelts on. Like, we just get in Bob's car. He drives us back to our trailers. Not a big deal. He hits the speed bump because he thought he was on a straightaway. And we bounced off the roof of he was the only one with the seatbelt so that his car wasn't ringing. Like, you know, the alert sign, whatever. We bounced off the top, and he just goes, oh boy, in the most Bob Tallman way. And we are, one, fearing for our lives, but then we all start laughing. And to this day, it is one of the scariest and funniest moments I've ever been a part of in my life, because we didn't know if we just ran over an elephant or a show cow or what, but it was, thank God, it was just a speed bump. And all of us were like, our hats were messed up because we hit this speed bump going so fast with Bob
Whoopsies.
Tallman commentating.
Wow. I had a similar situation in college where we ran off in the ditch because a truck stopped in front of us. And so the guy in the passenger seat goes, hit something hard. And after it all worked out, we didn't hit anything. I'm like, hey, when we were fixing to wreck, you said hit something hard. And he goes, yeah, because I didn't want to live through that. I'm like, oh my gosh. That sounds like a Tallman moment. Oh, God.
On the
And then he
opposite
said-
side of that, I did have brakes go out one time, and we happened to be in Winnemucca, Nevada. And I'm sitting in the driver's seat, mind you, just freshly with a driver's license. And I'm all, I don't know what to do. There is no brakes.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at all the people in the vehicle like, oh no, none of us know what to do. And the girl beside me is all, aim for something soft.
Oh,
I'm all,
gosh.
what's soft?
Oh, boy. Well, Anthony, we
That's
really
awesome.
we really appreciate you carving out the time for us, and congratulations on all your success, and we look forward to following even more of it in the future.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on. It's an honor. Appreciate you guys.
Yes, sir. Have a great day.
Thank y'all.
Want to experience more of the NFR? Then visit nfrexperience.com, and we invite you to subscribe to NFR Extra on Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and wherever you're listening right now. If you like what you've heard on NFR Extra, we would love it if you gave us a 5-star rating and tell your friends how to subscribe.